to the latest radio listening figures while we were off air. The challenge now is to bring in new young listeners. But do teenagers not even listen to radio anymore? Now they can download music anywhere and anytime they choose. That's what we want you to tell us. So if your kids are upstairs on YouTube and you're downstairs listening to the radio, please let us know.
Okay.
Okay, Grimmy, that's all for now. Now, I need something to cheer me up.
And here they come now, the spotty, fat bride. Suffused with acne, clinging...
Never fails. And an increasing number of listeners seem to agree, while Radio 1 appears to have a lot of users. They've just welcomed an extra 500,000 into the fold. It's now the UK's digital-only station, listened to by more than 2 million people each week. Even more than 6 million. What explains the sudden surge? Here are the views of some of the network's listeners, both newcomers and long haulers.
I am Ryan Luke Krogan, I'm 18 years of age and I'm from Lancashire. I recently went to Radio 4 Extra.
The Seventh Dimension.
Being a bit of a Doctor Who fan, I rather enjoy listening to the recent Tom Baker audio plays that are playing because it's a nice sense of nostalgia.
My name is Chris Hanson. I've always listened to Radio 4 Extra, but I just don't think, honestly, that people want to hear programmes like In the Psychiatrist's Chair, especially when the subject matter is dead.
My name's Neil McGillivray. I'm a consultant designer. What I enjoy is the crime and drama.
You understand what drives me, Mr. Smithson.
I think that there's been an awful lot of new programmes commissioned as well, so the selection is only getting broader.
Tony Pilgrim is Head of Planning and Scheduling for Radio 4 and Radio 4 Extra. I asked him whether he was surprised by this sudden influx.
Yeah, I would say I was a little bit surprised that it was such a big uplift in one quarter. There are various things that we're wondering in terms of what went on. One issue might be that from January onwards there was a lot of coverage around elections and people were looking for an alternative at certain parts of the day, but we haven't seen figures go down for Radio 4 coverage.
Some people would say what it is, for it is a testament to the good programmes of the past, rather better perhaps than the programmes of the present. So have you seen people switching from Radio 4 to 4 Extra, or have the audiences for Radio 4 stood up well as well?
They have stood up well. We think people are interested in the new things that we're doing in terms of comedy and drama and the factual output, and they're showing an interest in some of the more recent archive on 4 Extra and the deeper archive.
Chris Hanson doesn't understand why you're bothering to repeat In the Psychiatrist's Chair. Why are you doing that?
In the Psychiatrist's Chair is an iconic programme that a lot of people remember or a lot of people have heard about but maybe not had the chance to listen to. So we've had some good feedback from a lot of people really liking the fact that we've dug those up and got those into the show. I'm sorry that he doesn't enjoy it, but hopefully there are other things that he does really enjoy.
And is there any chance that the network's remit will change in the next 2 or 3 years?
There is no plan for the remit to change. We've had programmes like This American Life, TED Radio Hour, Serial, things that people are interested in hearing, but that still get people's awareness, and they think, oh, that's interesting that 4 Extra have those kinds of programmes in there, I'll sample. Then they bump into maybe some archive comedy, maybe some classic drama, and they think, oh, there's other stuff for me to come back and listen to. And that's what I think might be happening.
My thanks to Tony Pilgrim from Radio 4 Extra. Well, while a number of those new 4 Extra listeners may have been trying to avoid the glut of general election coverage, some of those who stayed to listen rather wish they hadn't. They believe much of it was biased.
My name is Yvette and I'm calling from Cheltenham. For several weeks we just kept hearing about the Labour Party members and the media journalists and presenters just didn't seem to be able to get their heads around the fact that Labour had lost the general election. The shock reaction of some of the broadcasters left me with a sneaking suspicion that they were as upset at the Labour loss as the Labour members themselves.
My name's Leslie Hardy. I'm a listener from Kent. Despite the perceived left-wing bias of the BBC, I would say actually that there was a considerable conservative bias within BBC coverage. We're living in a society where the right wing completely dominate and manage the media. And, there's this constant muttering on about the BBC, being liberal and left-wing and so on and so forth. I see absolutely no evidence of that whatsoever.
Timothy Caulfield. Eddie Mair's interview with UKIP deputy leader just after the election, clever though it was, dripped with sarcasm and ill-concealed contempt. It showed the same contempt for the nearly 4 million people that voted for UKIP, many of them from the left wing. The BBC loses credibility by this subtle but poisonous bias.
Pauline, who has won the election? According to the BBC, it must be the SNP. I am sick to death of the left-wing reporting by the BBC.